Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most unusual, aggressive, and experimental fighter aircraft in modern aviation history. The Sukhoi Su-47 Burkut. The Golden Eagle. With its forward-swept wings that scream, "I'm different" at first glance, this aircraft is considered one of Russia's most important steps toward developing a true fifth-generation fighter jet. But the Su-47 is far more than a flashy prototype. It represents Russian aviation's courage, boldness, and willingness to take enormous engineering risks. In today's video, we're going to explore the Su-47's development story, reasons behind its forward-swept wing design, differences from aircraft like the X-29, its influence on the PAK-FA and Su-57 programs, actual combat potential, and the lessons learned during its flight tests. If you're ready, let's take off with the Golden Eagle. What is the Su-47? The Sukhoi Su-47, known in Russian as Sukhoi Su-47 Burkut, meaning Golden Eagle, is an experimental fighter aircraft developed by the Sukhoi Design Bureau in the late 1990s. Originally designated S-32 and later renamed S-37, the aircraft officially received the name Su-47 in 2002. Its NATO reporting name, Firkin. And of course, its most striking feature, the one you notice instantly. Forward-swept wings. A design extremely rare and extremely difficult to engineer. That's why the Su-47 Burkut became one of the most innovative projects in Russian aviation history. How did the Su-47 come to life? A project born in the post-Soviet collapse. After the fall of the Soviet Union, Russia faced severe economic difficulties. Many military projects were cancelled or shelved. But Sukhoi engineers wanted to test new technologies for the fighter jet of the future. This vision laid the foundation for the Su-47, the first name S-32. The initial design, known as S-32, was created specifically to test the challenges and advantages of forward-swept wings, later S-37. By the late 1990s, the aircraft was redesignated S-37 and used purely as a flying laboratory. Official name in 2002, Su-47. When the Russian Ministry of Defense gave the project formal status, the aircraft was renamed Su-47, a sign that this aircraft is now a serious contender for an operational fighter jet. The history of forward-swept wings. Forward-swept wings aren't new. Their origins go back to the 1940s with the German Junkers Ju-287 bomber. Later, Soviet Research Institute TEAS AGLAI mathematically confirmed the aerodynamic advantages of this concept. But there was a major problem: aeroelastic wing twisting. At high speeds, forward-swept wings tend to bend and twist, potentially causing a loss of control. This issue made the technology unusable for decades, until composite materials were invented. Carbon fiber and advanced composites finally made it possible to control wing twisting. This enabled the US to build the Grumman X-29 in the 1980s. Russia, seeing the same potential, decided to pursue this risky but exciting technology. And thus the Su-47 was born. Design features of the Su-47. The Su-47 combined the structural layout of the Su-27 family, composite forward-swept wings, a digital fly-by-wire control system, radar-absorbent materials, and an advanced aerodynamic configuration. Similar in size to the Su-27. To reduce production costs, several components were reused. Landing gear from the Su-27, vertical stabilizers of parts of the cockpit, folding wings. Due to the limited space in Russian hangars, the wings could fold inward. Aerodynamic package. The aircraft featured main wings, forward canards, and tail surfaces, working together for extreme maneuverability. Dual tail design. Next to the exhaust nozzles. Left side, rear-facing radar. Right side, drag chute housing. Why forward-swept wings? What are the advantages? This design gave the Su-47 incredible capabilities. Exceptional maneuverability. Controlled flight at angles of attack above 45 degrees. Shorter takeoff and landing distances. Lower stall risk, outstanding subsonic turn performance. In close-range dogfights, these advantages were game-changing. The Su-47's flight performance. During test flights, the aircraft performed so well that pilots said, "The plane feels like it can turn around and look over its own shoulder." Some test results: complete control even at very low speeds. Stability during maneuvers exceeding 9G. Smooth, instantaneous direction changes. Ultra-agile flight behavior. Angles of attack tested up to plus 70 degrees. This made the Su-47 one of the most maneuverable aircraft of its era. Weapon systems. Although the Su-47 was mainly a test platform, a real weapons layout was considered. Planned armament included R-77, AA-12 Adder, R-73, AA-11 Archer, R-27, AA-10 Alamo. Internal weapons bays, 30mm cannon. However, it never flew with a full combat load. Its purpose was aerodynamic research. Su-47's role in the PAK-FA program, the father of the Su-57. The most common question: why wasn't the Su-47 mass-produced? Because it was never meant to be. The Su-47 was a technology demonstrator designed to gather data for Russia's future fifth-generation fighter. That future project was PAK-FA T-50, now known as the Su-57. Many aspects of the Su-57 were shaped by Su-47 research: aerodynamics, structural design, composite materials, flight control systems, low observable coatings. In a way, the Su-47 was the big brother of the Su-57, a test bed, a proving ground, the first real step toward fifth-generation capability. Why production never happened? 4 major reasons. Forward-swept wings were extremely expensive. Composite technology was costly in the early 2000s. Russia's economy was struggling. Not an ideal time for large defense investments. The aircraft was not stealth-friendly. Its shape was unsuitable for low radar visibility. The PAK-FA program became the priority. All funding and engineering resources shifted to the Su-57. Where is the Su-47 today? The Su-47 now has completed its test flights, is occasionally shown at demonstrations, and is mostly stored in hangars. It may still be used for special research, but it is not in active service. The Su-47's place in aviation history. The Burkut is one of the most iconic fighter aircraft ever because it symbolizes a nation unafraid of taking engineering risks, pushed the aerodynamic limits of fighter design, laid the foundation for the Su-57, contributed to over 800 technical studies still referenced today. Alongside the X-29, it remains one of the most visually striking experimental jets in history. And that wraps up the extraordinary story of the Sukhoi Su-47 Burkut. Forward-swept wings, experimental technology, unmatched maneuverability, and Russian engineering boldness. Together, they earned the Su-47 its rightful title, the Golden Eagle. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which aircraft should we cover next. See you in the next video. Clear skies, everyone.